Between the two of them, the inside of Coates, Parker gets too heavily involved. And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Virtual Reality Racing Club live coverage of third round of the BMW GT4 Sprint Series, and we are competing this evening on the Bahrain International track, which we're looking forward to. And I'm very pleased to be joined by Lydia Walmsley in the co-coms box. I think Lydia, is it third or fourth time that you've come along and helped us out with this? So thank you for doing that. And how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm great, thank you, Richard. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for a Tuesday. You know, edging towards the weekend, gradually creeping towards. We were just discussing, weren't we? It's going to be a dismal, wet, horrible, filthy, wet Brands Hatch.
Yes, looking forward to it though, because the Brands GP circuit I think is the best one on the calendar. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit soggier than previous years. But looking forward to it. Should be good.
It should be good, and then we've got that long 6-month break before we all do things for real again, which is dismal winter. Mind you, we've got a few things coming up which we can talk about and some more virtual racing, but virtual sunshine today in Bahrain, which is nice, and we can dream about sunshine. Here's where we are on the schedule, round 3, and we've got including this one 6 rounds to go, of which I'm at 5 because I'm away doing an F4 launch on the 28th, so I'm sadly going to be missing Silverstone, but we'll have some news on a new F4 driver for next year on that day, so keep an eye on the socials for that. So we'll tease what's going on there. Anyway, that's where we are in terms of the calendar. We need to look at how things are going in terms of the championship points coming into this round. Remember, it's one drop round at the moment. You can see from Jack Smith's score at the top, he drops last week's races at Watkins Glen and carries the 75 points that he scored in event 1 at Spa. So things will start to get a little bit more cumulative after this evening at Bahrain. But with the drop scores, the top 3, Jack Smith, Scott Bugner in P2, Rich Hayden is in 3rd place from Oliver Gibson, Thomas Potter 5th, then Andy Carroll, and Jamie Page, who we're hoping has got a microphone sorted out. He did message me in the week, but not about microphones. Andy Dorman 8th from Lewis Stannard, and another JSCC driver, Ollie Smith, is in 10th place. And then we move down into 11th, Lee Pearcey, who's been scoring well. Look at that, 2 identical rounds for Lee on 35, and he's capable of a lot higher scores, is Lee Pearcey. Then it's Paul Laramie and Chris Blakey. Callum Enstone, who has only done the 1 round so far. Caden Cook is next up from John Jones and Cat Potter in 17th. Daniel Heaps didn't start last week. Let's have a quick look, see if Daniel is on the timing for this week. Doesn't look like he is. Can't see him immediately there, which is a pity. Come back, Daniel. Alex Walker 19th, and the top 20 rounded off by Scottish Racing 54. That is Connor Potter. So we look down to our 3rd page. John Wilkie has been scoring points as well. Went from 1 point at Spa to 11 at Watkins Glen. So a decent week for John last time out. Jack Dickerson has had a brace of 5s, and Scott Ferguson a brace of 3s. Kenny Press has had a 3 and a 6. He's in 24th, and that wraps up championship table. Now, what happened last week, those of you who weren't here? Well, Becky Aparicio was with us in the commentary box, and as you probably know, Becky's doing the alternate rounds with us, the American tracks, which is great. So Becky will be back with us next week, and hello if you are listening or watching, Becky. Our gold driver last week and driver of the round went to Scott Bugner. I think he did get a penalty in the post-race judicials last week, but still retains the win. Such was his performance. It was on track live, 3 podia, which I think went down to 2 with the various penalties that went out. Rich Hayden had 2 penalties as well. He winds up as the silver driver from last Tuesday, and Tom Potter completing the podium in 3rd place and the confirmation of Scott Bugner's driver of the round. So Lydia, as ever, we need to think about the driver of the round as we work our way through this particular round, which is at Bahrain. We've got another hot lap coming up. As you can see, this is the Grand Prix circuit designed by Herman Tilke, and it was first home to the Grand Prix back in 2004. So it's been with us a little while now, but it's a great track, and really the antithesis to Watkins Glen, where we were racing last week. So a lot wider, bigger runoffs. Still some tight and tricky corners, little bits of elevation for the drivers to enjoy. And talking of enjoying, I certainly enjoyed earlier on watching the hot lap, which was prepared by Jack Smith, which we're going to take a look at now. So on board then with Jack Smith, our current championship leader, multiple champion of course in virtual reality racing club racing, and we are heading down the main straight in towards the very tight right-hander at turn 1. This is going to cause some problems I think when we get into our reverses and partial reverse grid races, and you'll see why, because it is so tight. If you don't, I'm sure you know this track from Grand Prix racing, but as soon as you dealt with the right-hander there, we're into the left-hander at turn 2 and then immediately into turn 3, and then under the DHL gantry, and a little bit of respite on the straights here, heading down towards another very tight right-hander, which is turn 4. On the brakes, turn in neatly, grab a little bit at the apex, and then head through the very slight left-hand curve, which is turn 5. Right-hander at turn 6, left-hander again at turn 7. Jack being made to work really, really hard here. And then into another one of the very sharp apex corners. This is turn 8. We'll squirt out of there under the Goodyear gantry before we head up to the next left-hander, so over to the right-hand side of the circuit, and grab the apex coming through turns 9 and now 10, and now on to, I guess, what we could call the back straight effectively. This is kind of like a much bigger version of Brands Hatch Indy in some ways, and we're effectively going along the equivalent of Cooper Straight now, heading up in towards Surtees. These ones don't have names other than turn 11, the right-hander. We're going through the left-hander now. Turn 11 under the Avis signage, and into the, now into right-hander, turn 13, 12 and 13, and then on to the final straight. My screen has decided to freeze on me, but the remainder of the lap straight away from turn 13 under the Michelin signage on the way into the double apex right-hander at turns 14 and 15, and then finally back onto the main straight under the Gulf Air signage and down through the grid lines and across the line. We're looking at laps in around about 2 minutes 04, as you can see there, Jack, 2:04, a good time from our championship leader. So that's where we are. Looking forward to our first race with the partial reverse grid. I'm not sure if you lost me on that, or whether it was my internet going or yours on the server, but I don't know if you caught that, Lydia.
It did freeze for me.
Okay.
You did very well, Richard.
Thank you very much. We've had blank screens on ITV before, not broadcast, but we sometimes get those to look at. Well, we're looking at Rich Hayden's car at the moment. That's the car that's third in the championship, and still giving himself penalties on the judicials, in case anyone is wondering. So Rich trying to be as fair as he possibly can in the championship. But we are looking forward to the first race, which I think will be underway in a minute or so, if I'm getting my timing right. And the first race, of course, is the reverse of the championship, partial reverse of the championship positions. Race 2 is a partial reverse of the race 1 result, and then we look at the points scored over races 1 and 2, and have a total reverse for race 3, and no doubt a little bit of carnage going in and down into turn 1 in all of those, and it does appear a little bit tight. Thoughts on the track, Lydia? I don't think you've commentated with me on Bahrain before.
No, and obviously never been, but it looks great. Unfortunately, the drivers aren't going to have the heat that they would have in real life, which I think would have put a spanner in the works there. But I think they should almost set up some heaters to get the proper Bahrain vibe. But yeah, I'm sure it'll put some great racing out, particularly turn 1 from the start. I'm sure it'll be a bit hairy, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. So we'll see how that all pans out. Are we having techie issues at the moment, or are we? Okay, so things just getting loaded in, ready for. I haven't got a grid on my timing screen at the moment, so I'm just diving around to see who's going to be on pole for this one. Needless to say, I've got the wrong tab open on my phone, which isn't particularly helpful. So let's go. Last practice, by the way, here was topped by Thomas Potter and Lewis Stannard, with Jamie Page in 3rd, Lee Pearcey 4th, and Jack Smith and Andy Dorman. So that was the latest practice session. Don't have qualifying now, other than for the first round. And oh, here we go. We've got a countdown on now of 1:36, and the cars lined up on the grid with Cat Potter on pole position in our partial reverse, and Jamie Page is alongside. Jamie was kind enough to send me a little bit of information more about himself. He is from a racing family. He's racing on his cousin's rig, and he's, I think, hoping to get his own at some point, which I'm sure that Rich Hayden and the crew would be able to help with if needs be. Jamie didn't have last week a mic when he got onto the podium, which was a pity. And then we've got Ollie Smith next up from Lee Pearcey and Lewis Stannard. So although this is a reverse grid, it's a very strong partial reverse with drivers that are capable of podiums or indeed wins right up at the sharp end. So as we're looking, probably the driver that has won with us before, or two drivers that have won with us before, Lee Pearcey, who's in the blue car with the yellow back and the white top, and Lewis Stannard, who starts on the row behind him on the outside in the white, red and black car. Lewis, our reigning mini champion, Lydia, so sort of following in your wheel tracks virtually. And then Andy Dorman in the red, white and black car on the right inside of the next row, followed by Rich Hayden again in the same livery as Lee Pearcey, then Andy Carroll with Union flag atop of the orange and blue car. So that's our grid, and we've got 11 seconds to go. So we should see the lighting gantry coming on very shortly for 20 minutes of VRRC BMW racing, and we are very nearly ready to go. And it's Potter and Page as we get alliterative on the front row of the grid. Cat Potter a little bit slower off the line than Jamie Page, who pops down the inside, and we've got Lewis Stannard looking to try and make his way up into P2, but it's Jamie Page from Ollie Smith who goes up into P2, quickly followed and passed by Lee Pearcey. Ollie Smith next from Lewis Stannard. Cat Potter down to 5th at the moment, trying to look at the timing table and also making sure that everyone gets through. There's a little bit of a shenanigan down towards the back. I think that might have been Scott Bugner maybe that we lost. Certainly one of the orange cars, but other than that, relatively okay through turn 1. A couple of casualties, but not as bad as a couple of races last week, Lydia.
Yes, it seemed the start was okay, wasn't it? It was almost sort of a concertina effect coming out of turn 2 that seemed to catch a few people out, but I'm sure there was no malice in that. But fingers crossed everyone gets back going and can continue the race. But yeah, Jamie Page seems pretty confident there, doesn't he? He's not even defending into any of the corners, so he seems pretty confident with where he's placing the car.
Yeah, he's coming on leaps and bounds, is Jamie. Joined us last time for the touring car head-to-head, which ran simultaneously with the official mini challenge. We've got another official championship which has just been launched the last couple of days, which is the official Scottish Legends Cars Championship. We'll talk more about that over the coming weeks, as Paul Laramie has a little look at Rich Hayden. There is Paul Laramie. Hopefully, have we got, trying to think who was missing last week. Chris Blakey was missing last week, wasn't he? So let's have a quick look down and see. I think Chris may be still feeling a little bit sore after his incident in his real-life BMW racing a couple of weeks ago. It's Jamie Page from Lee Pearcey. Lewis Stannard in 3rd. Lewis did, I think, a little bit of inadvertent contact on that previous lap. But in 3rd, he didn't gain anything from that, and I think backed away from Lee Pearcey in 2nd place. We're looking at Rich Hayden at the moment. Down behind him is Kat Potter. So Kat from front row of the grid in 8th. She'll be regularly in the top 10 is Kat Potter. So nice thing to be able to say that now. She finished off last week with a 10th, had a 12th and 11th. So was there or thereabouts all the way through last week's racing. So really good consistent stuff from her. Paul Laramie in behind at the moment. And then Caden Cook is in 10th place right now as we go to Ollie Smith. Ollie and Andy Dorman having a little bit of a battle there, and it's allowing Lewis Stannard to get away. So it's Page, Piercy and Stannard at the moment, 1, 2, 3. And Lewis Stannard deserves a little bit of luck here. He was really quick in the virtual minis, Lydia, missed the first round and then was pretty much on the podium most of the time in the official E-Series. Was racing in junior saloons, and I think he's probably looking at minis for maybe next year. I know we've got a taster day coming up for the Mini Championship, and I know that's a formula very close to your heart.
It is. I've spent a long time in Mini Challenge. I think all told about 6 or 7 years, I believe. So yes, Mini Challenge was a huge part of my career and a fantastic championship to get involved in, particularly if you're relatively new to car racing. I mean, I started a Mini Challenge when I was only in my 2nd year, so it's definitely a great place to learn racecraft, learn front wheel drive, learn a slick tyre. So yeah, it's certainly a really good option. And
we're looking forward to the final round of the JCWs this weekend. I think we've got I've seen the. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who's rejoining the entry this weekend, but we've got a. Do you know who it is? Have you seen anything?
No.
Okay, yeah, we've got
we've
got a big name, big exciting name coming back, and I believe we might have another new driver. Certainly plenty on the grid. Lewis Stannard looking for P2. I can't say any more because I think Rhea would probably sack me or kill me.
That might be confidential information if no one knows.
But yeah, there's plenty to look forward to in the JCW finale this weekend, and indeed for the sports as well. Lewis Stannard looking for P2 here, and as I said, Lewis really deserves a little bit of luck. We're into week 3 of the GT4s, and he's having a look down the inside here at Lee Piercy. Good clean move there, I thought, by him, and goes up into P2 as he overrun and corrects a little bit there, but that was a decent move, wasn't it?
It was. I thought he'd outbraked himself for a moment there, but he didn't run Lee Piercy wide at all. Unfortunately, he has lost the spot, which I think was always going to happen when you run that wide. But yeah, it was a clean move, no contact. I'm sure Lee Piercy was expecting it there. So, oh no, he has stayed in front, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Yes, yeah, brilliant. So yeah, it was a good little move, and no contact, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, Lewis, I'll say he's not really had much luck. He had a win in race 3 last week to add to an 8th and a DQ with, I think, some contact in race 1, a 4th and 9th and 11th in the first round. So hopefully he's getting used to competing here in rear-wheel drive as well. So it'll be interesting to see now whether he can close in on Jamie Page. The pair of them, both very successful in our last 2 series, but didn't race together. Jamie was in the touring car head-to-head. And as mentioned, Lewis was in the minis, and both of them did very well. Both of them took wins and podiums, but I think this is going to be the first time we'll see them going head-to-head, as it were. If we get them close, we've got 1.39 seconds between them at the moment. It's Andy Carroll there in 6th, busy chasing Ollie Smith immediately ahead of him. Ollie, the top rookie at the moment in the Junior Saloon Car Championship, and not that far away from the overall podium. Oh, and a punt on the back. Well, we start to build them up, and he gets a little bit more than a tap on the back, and right the way down the order. That's a shame, and a shame for Rich Hayden because he's got some more judicials to do now.
Yeah, that wasn't on really, was it? It almost seemed like he used that car as a bit of a brake pedal there, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be a penalty for that. You can't really do that, can you? But at least no money will be spent repairing the car. Let's put it that way.
Sometimes it can be caused by a server glitch, or being kind to people here, because there isn't usually an intentional bang, so there can be that, and our internet glitches from time to time. So that is one of the things, if you're new to watching this kind of racing, that can happen. But equally, real world replication is carried out through judicials. It does. The judicials, Lydia, are difficult in real life, as we get this challenge on here with Lee Pearcey trying to get back at Lewis Stannard. This is allowing Jamie Page to get away, isn't it? Jamie Page getting away. I'll come back to judicials in a minute. But Lee Pearcey is kind of, that pass was almost a little bit of a wake-up call for him, wasn't it?
It was. I think. I mean, they're both pretty quick, aren't they? And you wouldn't really be able to tell or predict who's going to come out on top, really. I mean, they're pretty close. But yes, like you say, Jamie Page is getting away now. And if they do continue to fight, I think it'll probably be a dead cert for the win there. So they have to be careful. And look at them brake discs. Wow, they're getting hot, aren't they? And Rich actually did tell me that apparently this particularly turn one is quite hard on the brakes there. So yeah, we're getting a nice visual of that as well.
Yeah, we are. Jamie Page, 3-time winner in the touring car head-to-head, one on Spa, Interlagos and Nürburgring, so he's going to be very happy wherever he races. And 1.6 seconds clear. Fastest lap for Jamie Page as well at the moment. So from a racing family, he tells me, trying to tease the names of the other drivers. I can't think who they are in the Page family, but I know Addison would know for sure because he's an encyclopedia. He would have pulled the name straight out and got it, but I can't place the family name. But Jamie's family apparently involved in engine building for the States as well. Anyway, he's really settling into this superbly at the moment. Lewis Stannard's still in P2. There is Kat Potter's having a good run here, Lydia. P6, so she was just inside the top 10. I think we've had a couple of drivers drop down, but Kat Potter getting more and more experience, the 18-year-old. And I don't think it's going to be long before she's probably nagging a dad to get her a race car as well. Her younger brother Thomas, of course, you may or may not know, due to make his Ginetta Junior debut next year, now that he's just had his 14th birthday.
Oh, amazing. I know he was interested in the new Toka Junior, wasn't he? So, yeah, not surprising that he's getting involved with junior racing. But, yeah, you're right. Kat Potter, I mean, she started on the front row and then had a bit of a shocker of her first lap. I think she did have a bit of contact, so probably not all her own fault, but she is fighting back and up into the top 6. So, yeah, with 11 minutes to go as well, and she seems to be closing down on Rich Hayden. So he needs to be watching them mirrors, I think. There's a bright blue and pink car in his mirrors. He needs to watch out.
He will be absolutely delighted to see the progress that Kat is making. He won't want her to pass, but he'd be pleased that she is doing well as we ride on board with Caden Cook, another newcomer who stood in for Thomas Potter the opening round of the touring car head-to-head. Thomas was racing 2 nights a week during that period where we had the touring cars and the mini championship. Shades of oval racing. I think it was probably your dad might remember racing a couple of nights a week. Were they still doing that in his era in Superstocks? Probably he's younger than that, I guess.
No, yeah, not quite. He'll be thrilled you've said that, though. Hopefully he's not tuning in. But yeah, no, not quite. Just some very snowy and wintry February nights. I remember those at Ipswich Stadium. But yeah, it got pretty cold at points, but there we go.
Andy Carroll dropping back behind Caden Cook as Paul Laramie now being chased by Andy with Caden following up, and Ollie Smith down in 10th place. Jamie Page leading by 1.3. Lewis Stannard trying to get into 2:04 is his best lap, so his last lap was about half a second quicker than Lee Pearcey in 3rd position. How are we going on timing wise? 9 minutes 37. That first half race has gone very, very quickly indeed. As we look back from Paul Laramie, no, we didn't even clock how many we got racing with us this evening. We've got 18 with Scott Ferguson 18th. Let's do a name check down the field just so we get everybody a mention of some description. So Scott Ferguson at the moment 18th, John Wilkie ahead of him in 17th, then Jack Dickinson, Thomas Potter down in 15th. Not quite sure what's going on with Thomas, but Connor Potter, no relation, is in 14th with Alex Walker 13th, Scott Bugner down in 12th. What is Scott doing in 12th place? Oh, he had that incident, didn't he, earlier on? John Jones 11th, the top 10 at the moment, Ollie Smith, Caden Cook, Andy Carroll 8th, Paul Laramie 7th, Kat Potter in 6th, then Rich Hayden 5th, Andy Dorman 4th, and podium positions at the moment, Lee Pearcey, Lewis Stannard and Jamie Page, the race leader, as we watch the battle between Andy Carroll and Paul Laramie, with Caden Cook in behind, and it's Andy Carroll that pops his nose in front. And
that was a nice move. He had a little bit of cut back there.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he? Andy normally podium or thereabouts at some point during a meeting, and tends to pick up quite a few points. He's actually away day 6 in the championship at the moment, so we'd normally expect Andy Carroll to be a little bit further up than that. Championship leader is Jack Smith.
Oh.
Yep.
Synchronized spinning there.
Synchronised, yeah. A little bit of contact shown between them. Caden Cook involved as well. Paul Laramie is backing back behind the arm car. I suspect we'll carry on. I was starting to look away at the screen, so we haven't got Jack Smith, have we, this evening? So this is obviously going to be Jack's dropped round, I'm guessing. I'm not quite sure. And apologies to Rich Hayden if he's messaged me to say what's going on and I haven't caught up. It's been that kind of day. But,
Rich Hayden's just been passed by Catherine. There we go. Oh, and she's off the track. He needs to watch out. Of course, she's close now. She did just pass him, but he must have got a cut back. But yeah, watch this space, I think.
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, Cat will take from this the fact that she's dicing with the driver third in the championship standings, and to get and a turn around there. I think that was Ollie Smith in behind. So again, could be down to a little bit of internet connection or just a little bit of getting too close on the racing. But I'll tell you what, one thing is for sure, and I will come on to the point I was starting to make earlier on. This is, we try and replicate real world racing as much as possible. Obviously, damage isn't replicated, apart from if the car does pick up a virtual ding in the race, it will impede the virtual progress of the car as we go through. But there is a judicial, there is a clerk's, look at what's any of the incidents that go on, and it does take a lot of time. I know the mini challenge we had. The mini clerk of the course, Luke Caudle, who had to spend quite a bit of time looking through footage the morning after, and bless him, worked really, really hard with Rich Hayden to go through all that. And it is to try and keep things as fair as possible. And exactly like the real world, you get drivers in the virtual really, Lydia, who get the ump and then go off because the decision doesn't go their way. But that happens in real life, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's a good thing that we're implementing this now, because you've got drivers that might just be getting into sim racing and in the future might get into real world racing, and they need to realise that I guess you need to respect each other and play by the rules. So I guess if you lay the oh dear.
Thomas Potter.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, so if you're laying the law out early, I guess it reflects well into the real world, which is good to see, really.
It is, and back in the day I worked in football, both on the admin side as well as broadcast. And the admin side, one of the things I did was get to chat to the officials before a match. And if you didn't speak to an official and the game wasn't going the way your team wanted it to go, there's always that sort of thing that you'd have a go at the ref or have a go at the linesman and stuff like that. And a similar thing with the clerks. People moan about the clerks, but when you've actually met them, the referees, there are two things. One, they're humans who just want to do the job to the best of their ability. And the second thing is they're actually really, really nice people. The third thing is that you're never going to win an argument against an official, are you?
No, and I think, to be honest, they've heard every excuse in the handbook. So, you're never going to come out with something that they haven't heard before, and they're ready for everything. But, I suppose the officials aren't there to be your friend, are they? They're there to keep it, fair and square, which is, at the end of the day, what you want. And, if you're putting time, effort, money into something, you want something that's fair, and, you want the winner at the end of the day to have deserved the win. I think definitely it's nice that we've got this in sim racing as well, because it just keeps it a bit more realistic, which is good.
It does, yeah. The queue here, though, in the clerk's office is going to be longer than the mini queue outside the mini.
That's hard.
At the moment, that's a lovely move. I totally missed the move there. I didn't miss it, but I saw it. But neglected to mention Scott Bugner's lovely move around the outside of Ollie Smith. Scott Bugner fresh off racing at the weekend at Silverstone with the VRRC meeting, but he runs a little bit wide there. This is going to allow Ollie Smith to have another go. Doesn't quite lose enough time for Ollie to go back past him, but it was nice to see Scott on the timing sheets again with his dad Sean racing in the M. Jonas Club Championship at Silverstone. I think had a reasonable weekend of it. A certain Lee Pearce was in that as well, Lydia, because I wondered what happened to him. I looked up and he's racing MGs now.
Oh wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah. I think you went racing against him in the Coopers, didn't you?
Yeah, for a couple of years. Yeah. And obviously we knew of him from oval racing and things, and very successful oval racer as well. So good to see that he's still going. I hadn't heard anything from him for a while, so nice to know that he's still racing.
Some BMW racing, but it seems to have settled with MG now, which is great. I'd love him to make the move into Audi TTs. It's a really VRRC formula, which looks great for next year. Front wheel drive, the cars are cheap as chips, and you know it's got the makings of a really cracking championship. That one, as we head back to Lewis Stannard. This is what we wanted to see, Lewis and Jamie. Jamie didn't want to see Lewis in his mirrors, but I wanted to see these two successful drivers from our last two separate championships going head to head. And Lewis is flashing the lights now and having a go at him, and he's reeled him in. Lewis Stannard's got the fastest lap, Lydia, and he's all over the back of the leader with 2 minutes to go.
I've been spotting that, yes. It's fastest lap after fastest lap. He's not just set one. He keeps beating his own personal best. So, yeah, to be fair, I thought Jamie Page had got the win there. I know you spoke too early because there was quite a gap, but he's caught that up and he's now lunging up the inside there. Hopefully he can get it stopped, which he has, but I think Jamie might get the cut back there. And he's covered it. He's covered it. So that might be enough to take the lead for definite.
Yeah, he's got him as Jamie Page down to P2. Lewis Stannard now will have to go into defensive mode a little bit. I don't think any of the top three are going to be subject to any of the judicials here. 2 minutes 05 to go on the clock. It's going to be nip and tuck. How many laps we get, isn't it now? Are they coming down the back straight, isn't it? So probably this one and one more. And Caden Cook's been involved in something as well. Now, Jamie Page might do a Lee Pearcey here and come back. As we look at Lee Pearcey being chased by Andy Dorman. So Andy Dorman trying to get onto... We haven't had Andy... Yes, we have had an Andy Dorman podium. Race 1 at Watkins Glen last week. And he is trying to... We haven't had a Lee Pearcey podium yet. So Lee Pearcey, another driver who has family oval roots, which we like to kind of promote. His dad was British Group A champion. I'm pretty sure he was racing last time you co-commed with us.
Yes, I recognise the name. Yes, probably.
So Arena Essex one rather than a Vauxhall girl like yourself.
This is all looking a bit close now, isn't it? P1 and P2 tasty. And P3 and P4 are pretty close with each other. So, yeah, the lead or the win is definitely not secured just yet, which is Jamie, nice to see.
Yeah, Jamie. Oh, clash between the two. I spoke too soon when I said there weren't going to be any judicials on the podium. There definitely will be looked at now. That was for me, very difficult to call that.
That was a bizarre incident, really, wasn't it? It was almost on the exit. I don't really know whether Jamie Page actually did anything wrong. I don't know if it was just a circumstance, unweighted the car. He looks like he's struggling with the car, but I guess perhaps there might be a bit of pickup on the tyre. I'm not sure if that's actually relevant in sim racing. I'm sure it probably is. But yeah, strange little incident. We'd have to probably see it again. But yeah, I don't know that you could particularly place blame on either driver there for that.
No, that's going to be judicial for sure. Yeah, it could have been 6 to 1 and half dozen the other, but it's left Jamie Page out front. I feel sad for Lewis Stannard because it would have been nice to see these two as we come down to the checker. It would have been nice to see the pair of them race it out. Are we still going? We've got -4 on the clock. He just crossed the line, I think, as just before the clock ticked down. So he's got another lap to do with Lee Pearcey in P2, Andy Dorman in 3rd. You can't get close to that, to running another lap. So Jamie Page still there. Lewis Stannard still with the fastest lap is down in 4th, and Dorman and Pearcey still dicing it out for P2. But at the moment, it looks like we're going to get a first Jamie Page win in the BMWs after 3 wins in the touring car head-to-head last time. So Jamie having a very good run. You can see he's built up a good lead over Lee Pearcey, still in P2. So we're going to get a couple of, I was going to say first-time interviews. We're not though. Jamie Page was, I'm sure he was on a podium. Maybe it was a judicial that went. Here we go, up to the flag. And it's Jamie Page that takes the win. Well done, Jamie. Lee Pearcey in 2nd, ahead of Andy Dorman. It's going to be Lewis Stannard with a consolation 4th. They're really hard. And we'll leave that one to the Clarks. Rich Hayden does get the better of Catherine Potter to take 5th place. Scott Bugner in 7th behind Catherine. Then it's Ollie Smith, Alex Walker and Andy Carroll completing our top 10. Then it's going to be Thomas Potter down in 11th at the moment. So points for Thomas. There is Thomas, the last of the 3 cars we're looking at on screen, about to go through. And so Thomas in 11th. John Jones is in 12th place at the moment as we catch up with Andy Carroll there in 10th. Behind John Jones, it's Paul Laramie and then Jack Dickerson from Connor Potter in 15th. Wait for Connor to go across the line now, which he does. Caden Cook 16th from John Wilkie and Scott Ferguson. So that's the rundown, and we'll have our first podium interviews in just a moment.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
So our first podium of the evening here at virtual Bahrain, and a time to have another chat with Andy Dorman, who takes third position. Well done, Andy. Good to catch up. Maybe a slightly unexpected third place there. It was, you were working hard to try and get past Mr. Piercy, so you could have got into third, but ultimately a clash between the two leaders sees you up on the podium and fighting ultimately for second place.
Yeah, that definitely made it easier into third. I just couldn't quite make it into second, though. I could get close, and then, I don't know, I'd get too close, and then it'd slow me down.
Yeah, it's difficult. So what are your thoughts on the track? Totally different in terms of width and room here to Watkins Glen last week, but you were quick there, so we know we had a podium there, and again here. So your thoughts on the differences?
It's a lot tighter and more technical.
Yeah.
And these BMWs don't like to come out the corners, so you've got to run quite a lot of traction control to try and keep them in a straight line.
Right. And obviously we've got the reverse grid coming up, so loads of work. There was a fair amount of damage in that, and it wasn't on turn one. It was kind of turn two and afterwards, and then during the race as well, which was a pity.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I'll have to take it steady for the first lap then and try and avoid everything, I think.
Yeah, not trying to put you off.
No,
But,
the heads up for where the carnage is helpful going into it. I know where to expect it to be.
Yeah, it was kind of, they got through turn one, but then turn two onwards, and then lots of clashes throughout the race, which was a little bit of a shame. How's your week been anyway? What have you been up to since we last spoke?
It's been rather busy. I've spent the weekend at Santa Pod with Lola Racing. We did a engine and gearbox refresh on it last week. So she's come over from Holland to do the weekend's testing at Santa Pod, and it went really well.
Oh wow! And tell us a bit about the machinery.
It's a Honda Civic with a 1.6 turbo engine in it. A personal best before the weekend was a 10.5, and we've got down to a 10.2 over the weekend. So she's starting to go back to Holland.
That's pretty good going, isn't it? It's the thing about I keep meaning to get over to Santa Pod, never got the chance, but I definitely want to take my boy over there, because I don't think you've experienced fast cars until you've seen them go down the strip, all the various types as well.
Yeah, stuff like the Civics and things doing 10-second quarters. It'll be, you can put more supercars up against them, and chances are the Civic's going to beat it.
Yeah, definitely need to get down there. Go back to the racing tonight though, and obviously you've got a renewed battle with Lee. So, thoughts on race 2?
I think try and make it through lap 1 and 2 without any damage might be the best place to start, and try and work my way forward from there, I think.
Yeah, always the way, isn't it, to be able to do that one. Championship-wise, well inside the top 10, so you saw within arm's reach of Jamie and Andy Carroll, who you got the better of in that one. So, plenty of jockeying in terms of the championship positions at the moment too.
Yeah, it's just a case of trying to pick up as many points and take advantage of any opportunities that come up.
Just keep at it. Nice one. Well, good to catch you, Andy. Well done on P3, and hopefully we'll catch up with you with another podium later on.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Andy Dorman. And second position goes to Lee Piercy. Lee, I think first chat of this series. Oh, second in race 2 at Spa. So great to have you back on the podium. So I need to correct myself from that. But a hard race there, wasn't there, with Jamie and the likes, and also with Andy in the latter stages.
Yeah, I was trying to hold on to the front two and if these cars, once they get hot on here and the tyres get warm and the brakes really fake, because they're such heavy cars with this big break-ins, the cars is a completely different beast once you've got full race fuel and they've got warm. And I just overdrove it, just trying to hang on with its front two. Then I see Andy come in and just sort of backed it off everywhere, and then actually went quicker, which is it's one of them things. I don't think this track suits these cars that great. It's quite a challenge, these cars around this track. It probably looks quite flowing and wide, but actually Watkins getting Glen was, I think, more suited to these, weirdly, even though it's a lot tighter and twistier.
Yeah. It's a bit more of an old school, isn't it, Watkins Glen? Right, this is one of these sort of.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who designed a downhill off camber hard braking left-hander hairpin for a racetrack. It's got to be one of the worst corners I've ever driven. It's just horrendous. But there's so much time in it. If you actually brake earlier, you get an early apex. You can really take some time, which it lures you in to brake late, and actually you lose a lot of time. So yeah, I see Andy full of my mirrors, and just tried to calm down and keep him there. But yeah, I think Lewis nearly got me when he rejoined. It was skimmed down the side of the car, so he actually nearly took me out when he come back on. So that was close. But yeah, fair play to Jamie and Lewis. They had a few attempts on me. Couldn't stay with them.
You did when Lewis got past you. You again kind of did what happened with Andy Dorman. Sort of, I'm not saying you got quicker, but you did take the fight back to Lewis for a bit. Yeah,
it's actually really hard when you're right behind me. These cars. I sound like I've got some excuses out of the Rich Hayden book, but it's really hard to spot your braking markers behind these cars. So you have to almost pull out of view, and then you're obviously on the wrong line. And one of the times I sort of got back up the inside of Lewis, and it was. Yeah, I'm not sure how we didn't touch, but I had no brakes left. I couldn't stop anymore, but we got through. So, and then just a couple of mistakes, and they was gone. So, but
that's a good point about sighting braking points and things like that. Because I was wondering if you do a lot of racing on one track, and I'm thinking like we've got a Scottish Championship coming up. If you were to do loads of racing at Knockhill, you the muscle memory will tell you where the braking points are and where the turnings are and stuff like that. But when you guys are chopping and changing tracks every week, you have got to look for those points, haven't you?
Yeah, and weirdly, most tracks you can generally your 3-2-1 markers or your 300, 200, 150 markers, and normally one of the markers will be there that you can reference. But annoyingly, at the end of this straight, you're braking before any of the markers, so you're kind of. Yeah, there's no real reference points on this track I'm finding, especially if you can't see them. Yeah. But then that bit of slipstream from such a big car in front, you hit the same marker, you've missed the corner by miles. So yeah, they're a lot harder than they look. These cars around here, they are a challenge.
Well, it's a good result anyway. It means that you've had podium finishes on 2 of the 3 tracks so far, which is good. And last week wasn't too bad, 6th and 4th, and then 15th in race 3. What happened in race 3 last week? Was that?
One of the races I was on for a podium. I didn't realise, and then realised halfway through the last lap, and again tried too hard and spun. so yeah, I think the key is to calm down a bit.
That's right. Well done on the podium. Great to have a chat with you, Lee. So we'll talk to you on the podium later on tonight, or maybe at Sebring next week as well.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Thanks a lot,
Cheers.
Lee. And we go to our winner. So hopefully mic'd up is Jamie. Have we got Jamie? He's left. Jamie Page has left. So, we got 2 minutes 50 before the next race anyway. So we'll say well done to Jamie Page on the win. And he's probably getting ready for the next race. But we will, at some point, it's like one of the characters from the sitcoms, isn't it, that you never see? Lydia won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But like, if you ever seen Dan's...
I haven't. No, sorry.
You've never seen...
No.
Okay,
I was born in 2002, Richard.
I know, but it's classic telly. I don't know if you've seen it. Anyway, in a lot of the writers use this thing where they talk about a character that you never see. So Captain Mainwaring's wife in Dan's Army, Maris in Fraser and things like that. Again, two things that you probably won't know anything about. But Jamie Page is kind of getting a little bit like that. We never get a chance to talk to him. What we do get the chance to do, though, is have a look at the grid for our second race. So top 12, partial reverse grid. John Jones on pole in the sort of traditional BMW livery. You can see in the distance there, front row on the outside, and Thomas Potter next to him. Andy Carroll lines up in P3 in orange and blue, and then it is Alex Walker. Good to get a chance to mention Alex. Then Ollie Smith. Scott Bugner is next up, and then the three cars nearest to our virtual camera, Cat Potter again in 8th, Rich Hayden in the blue and white, and then Lewis Stannard P10 nearest to and bottom left of this one. So partial grid again. Hopefully the drivers at the front, well, they are all good enough not to have problems. They may well have problems going into turn 1, but we will see. Lydia, it was a decent first race. Judicial's going to be keen to look at those tomorrow, but thoughts on our start for race 2?
Yes, well, fingers crossed we have a few less incidents than what we had in the previous race, but it was, I mean, great to watch. And obviously now we've got the reverse grid as well. I think we've got names at the front that I'm sure can probably stay there. And, you know, people like Thomas Potter, Andy Carroll, who we know should be at the front. Hopefully this will give them opportunity to get that gap and make a good race.
I hope so. I mean, we didn't have a Thomas Potter interview last week, which is very unusual for VRRC. And you've got to say, you'd be brave to bet against him starting P2 in this one. Love to get a podium interview with John Jones. If he can hang on in there, that would be great in the 639. And then, who do we say next? Andy Carroll next up from Alex Walker. It would be good to have a natter with Alex Walker as well. So Alex lining up in 4th. Scott Bugner due to get on the podium. He's P2 in the championship at the moment with 60 points. So if he has a decent another 2 races, he could get the championship lead. As the lighting sequence is about to complete, it is complete. Away they go. John Jones gets away well. Lewis Stannard getting away well too. He's going to slot between Cat Potter and Rich Hayden a little bit further back, so he's trying to make a wee bit of progress, but it's John Jones out front at the moment. Thomas Potter flicks to the outside and tries to go for the big burn up around the outside. He's got his nose in front at turn 1. And there is the turn 1 shenanigan, which has again, oh dear, it looks like we've lost Lewis Stannard in the mix of that. Is such a shame. Really wanted to see Lewis battling it out at the front, but it's going to be another revival for him as Thomas Potter tries to get around the outside of John Jones. Andy Carroll in 3rd, Scott Bugner, his teammate, in 4th from Ollie Smith.
It was a bit of a difficult start there, wasn't it? I mean, I think it's just the nature of this circuit. The first corner is so tight and you've got 20 cars going into it at once. But I was watching the start. John Jones had a fantastic reaction off the line. To be honest, he seemed to move his car quicker than anyone else. So yeah, the reaction was great. He has lost the lead now to Thomas Potter, who is clear, isn't he? He has extended quite the gap because from P2 to about P5 or 6, they're almost one, aren't they? They're just fighting, and it's giving Thomas the opportunity to drive away there. So in reality, they almost need to kind of work together and stop fighting and prevent the gap from extending any further. But yeah, they're still passing, so I think that's just going to give Thomas Potter the opportunity to drive away. I'm sure that he's hoping that's what's going to happen anyway.
Thomas likes to start off the front, whether it's reversed, partially reversed, or qualified on the front, which he has done, of course, many times in the past. But he's got Andy Carroll behind him now, so Potter and Carroll from Scott Bugner, who professes not to like, who professes to prefer front-wheel drive, but he's doing very well in this championship in P2. John Jones, good couple of opening laps from him, still in P4 at the moment, with Ollie Smith down behind him now. And then it's Cat Potter in 6th, Rich Hayden 7th, Andy Dorman from Jack Smith and Lee Piercy. We'll have a quick look down. Lewis Stannard is still going in 12th, so really feeling for Lewis. Maybe things will start from this race, maybe with the recovery and the next race, and then onwards in the championship as well. Still not too late championship-wise for him to climb up through the order. We're delighted that he made the switch over from the mini championship into this, or continued with us in the mini championship with this as well, as you watch Andy Dorman getting stuck in there. Still Thomas Potter out front, contact with Andy Dorman for Rich Hayden. Rich will be putting himself through the judicial process, and Andy on that one a little bit later on, as we get 3 wide on this part of the track now, with Dorman chasing Ollie Smith, the 2 teammates in the mix as well. Lee Pearcey looking to try and come through. Lee Pearcey is in 10th at the moment. Jamie Page 11th, our race 1 winner. Lewis Stannard is in 12th. So, yeah, Andy Dorman's come through well. What's happened to... Where's Lee Pearcey in the mix as well? Just trying to look at the timing screen.
P10.
P10, okay, yeah. So Lee, yeah, just doing what he said he was going to do, which was maybe sort of let it all settle down in front and then start to pick people off. We got a spinner there, which is going to be... There was an orange car, wasn't it?
Orange car.
Was that Andy Carroll? Was it? No, I think it was Scott Booker.
No.
Yeah, Scott's down
Yeah,
in
I think
5th
so.
now. And Kat Potter has got up into 4th place. So Catherine Potter having a very good run at the moment. There's a dive down the inside of Bugner there. I think from... Was that Rich Hayden having a look down the inside? Have we lost Scott? Is he still there? No, Scott is still there. Andy Dorman is side by side with him at the moment. They clatter a little bit. So a tiny little bit of rubbing between the pair of them. And Scott Bugner has got all the work to try and get back on terms. Meanwhile, Potter out front by 2.1 seconds from Andy Carroll. John Jones still in 3rd. And Lydia, this is the great thing about the reverse grids. It gives people like John Jones a chance to try their hand at the front and just gain that little bit more experience. And of course, the other drivers will gain more experience as time goes on. But really good opening a couple of laps here from John Jones. And this sort of performance could put him, you know, in contention for driver of the round.
Absolutely, and it just gives you, you know, different people to overtake and different people to race against. It's all experience, isn't it? As we go 3 wide into turn 1, that's never going to work. Somehow they all make it through. I don't even know how that happened, and there was barely a track limit. So well done to all the drivers that went in there 3 wide. But yeah, Andy Dorman here, P6. He's only half a second behind the driver in front, but it seems the front 2 have just gone, haven't they? Or the front 3, is it the front 3? The front 3 have just disappeared. So yeah.
This is 3rd place here, and Catherine Potter's just passed John Jones to go 3rd. So yeah, really good from Catherine here. Great from John Jones as well. Nice clean pass by Catherine. So John's now got Scott Bugner right behind him. Scott has Andy Dorman and Jack Smith down there as well. So Jack Smith in 7th place. Oh,
that was
a shame.
That was a biggie. Yeah. Didn't quite catch it, to be honest. I don't know if you did, Richard. I just saw the aftermath.
I was doing the double take on checking where Jack Smith was, because I'm pretty sure Jack didn't do race 1, so there's probably some reason he was going to be late. Someone's probably told me that he was going to be late on parade, but Jack is here and in this one and working his way through and in the top 6 now. So championship leader Jack Smith involved. Thomas Potter will carry on out front from Andy Carroll. And this is, again, not a battle that Thomas Potter wanted, but certainly a battle that we wanted to see as the race develops. 14 minutes on the clock, quarter of the way through, and we've got a battle on 1st and 2nd. Andy Carroll, as I said, is almost ever present around podium positions, and he's now got clear space ahead of Catherine Potter in 3rd. Catherine trying to break away from Andy Dorman. So it's just really good that we're now talking about Catherine Potter working her way up into podium positions and not starting right at the front and holding on. She's actually worked her way into 3rd place, which again could be another potential driver to think about for driver of the round, which means she'll probably spin off at the next corner now. I've said that.
Yeah, curse of the commentator. But Andy Carroll has really caught up there, hasn't he? I mean, it looked like Thomas Potter was, you know, pretty quick and he'd made a big gap, but yeah, Andy Carroll's pretty fast, saying that he's now dropped nearly a second behind. But yeah, I mean, he was right on the tail of Thomas there. But yeah, it's a good race so far, Richard. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? We've still got over half of it to go, which is good. So Potter, Carroll and Potter is the way they go at the moment. Where's the other Potter?
Oh, he's spun again. He's not having any luck, is he, Lewis? I mean, he came from the back. He was then about P7, and he's just had another incident. So, yeah, that's going to drop him and kind of ruin all of the hard work he's had over the last 8 minutes.
Last year, wasn't he? Had some absolute rotten ones last year.
Yeah, it's not going his way today, is it?
No, it isn't. Such a shame, but he will bounce back. That's what top drivers do. And there we look at Rich Hayden. Rich Hayden here, and he won't thank me for saying this, but being well and truly beaten by Catherine Potter here. And remember, they started on the same row. And Catherine Potter's dicing she's on the podium, and Rich Hayden dicing to stay in the top 10. Rich knows I'm only joking, by the way, but I think it needs to be pointed out. I know. The one thing I do know is that Rich will be delighted that the progress that Catherine Potter's made. But we need to look at the progress also made by Jack Smith, who's come up into 4th place here. So Jack Smith has worked his way through. So ahead of Andy Dorman. So there is Jack. Jack about to deprive Catherine Potter of a podium position here. So let's see how Catherine deals with the championship leader. Here comes Jack. Has a look down. He had a couple of judicials last week go against him, did Jack Smith. So he's going to be mindful of that this evening. But we've got the championship leader right behind. Unsure why he was there. We can find out why he wasn't in race 1, unless I've missed something. And he's having a go here for P2. He's going to try and squeeze on the inside. Doesn't work though, so it's back to the outside run. And maybe get the momentum around turn 1 here.
I think he was expecting that gap to open up, wasn't he? But it just, you know, Catherine was defending hard and she did nothing wrong. There was no space, but yeah, made him go the long way round and couldn't make it stick, obviously, as it's such a tight corner. And I guess you can probably just get it stopped on the apex, and there's nothing really that they can do. But I think they're side by side now coming into this corner here. Not quite. I think Catherine's still out front, isn't she? So yeah, she seems a bit of a cork in the bottle here, but whether that's just because she's defending, but I think Jack Smith might have the move done there now. And yeah, unfortunately, that's going to open the door now for everyone behind.
Open the doorman. The doorman goes through.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Yeah, thank you for that. And now Scott Bugner's going to nip through on the inside. But remember, Catherine Potter fought her way up to 3rd. And Potter Senior, David, I think he's going to have to get his checkbook out and buy Catherine a race car to go with Thomas's Ginetta Junior for next year now.
Yeah, so, absolutely. That'll be expensive. 2 in 1.
What of course would work, of course, is running them both on the same package. So Thomas can do juniors, and then is it GT Academy? Is that the version that the senior Ginettas, which obviously Catherine Potter needs to do now?
Yes, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be expensive, but very good.
It will be very good. And good luck, by the way, this weekend to ex-Ginetta man Charlie Robertson and Ravi Ramyed, who, of course, was a Ginetta champion on their quest for the British GT Championship finale this weekend. I won't be watching because we're at Brands, which is where the proper racing is, but we do wish ex-Ginetta alumni well. So, it is still Thomas Potter out front from Andy Carroll. Thomas has got his head down now, hasn't he? He's 2.3 seconds clear. Jack Smith, you wouldn't bet against Jack clawing that in. He only got 9 minutes to do it. So Jack Smith has come right the way through and up onto a podium. And the good thing for us is that we get 3 fresh interviews, I guess, at the moment. Potter, Carroll and Smith. Andy Dorman could be the spoiler for that one. He's in P4, so if things go awry for the top 3, we could have a double podium for Andy Dorman. Scott Bugner still in 5th. Cat Potter still in 6th place. Jamie Page has come through for 7th and is the quickest, sort of kind of jointly with Andy Dorman, the sort of fastest moving driver from the podium last time out. Yeah,
it seems... I'm wondering whether Thomas Potter maybe made a mistake in the early stages, because he's definitely opened up that gap now, hasn't he? I mean, his last lap was his fastest, and the fastest of the race so far, a 2:04.483. So yeah, pretty quick, and almost a second quicker than what anyone else is posting at the moment. So yeah, he's definitely got, you know, his head down, and he's pretty quick. But Rich Hayden, I think, is trying to head round the outside of Ollie Smith here. There's a good little battle going on here. Not much contact, which is what we like to see, and I don't think he's going to manage that. Or maybe he does, because he's going to have the inside for the next corner, so a nice little move.
Yeah, trying hard here is Rich Hayden, and great driving from Ollie Smith as well, giving each other room. Rich Hayden manages to consolidate that position, but then makes a little mistake there as Ollie Smith dives down the inside and nearly overcooks it. Rich Hayden gets further clear, so Ollie will learn. That's what all this is about, isn't it? Learning as much as anything else. John Jones still in the top 10, which is great to see, down behind them. So John having a good run. We've got Jamie Page in the mix here as well. At the moment, chasing Catherine Potter. Thomas Potter's 2.7 seconds clear of Andy Carroll, and Jack Smith has got the gap down to 4.4, make that 3.2 seconds. So the podium, Potter, Carroll and Smith. Scott Bugner is next up. So Scott in 4th place, starting to, again, Scott Bugner, we're not seeing him taking loads of wins. He has had 1 win in the championship so far, but really consistently picking up points, which has put him 2nd in the championship. 9th, 11th, 1st in the first round, 2nd, 5th last weekend, and again really consistent here. He passes Andy Dorman up into 4th place, and consistently going to be absolutely key here as Catherine Potter engages in battle here with Jamie Page. Jamie Page now, as we look on the left of shot, got the inside for turn 1 as they come down. I think Kat's going to have to cede this place now. She'll know that Jamie has got the move on, so the race 1 winner passes the erstwhile podium sitter here, Catherine Potter, still in a decent place, still in 7th position. And now, for all the ribbing that we gave Rich Hayden earlier on, he's going to be the next chaser of Catherine Potter. So it's Catherine Potter from Rich Hayden 7th and 8th, Ollie Smith 9th, John Jones still in 10th place, and things relatively settled, Lydia, as we head towards the last 5 minutes.
Yes, well, you say that as we follow Andy Dorman, he's pretty close to his next victim, Scott Bugner. I mean, he's looking pretty quick. He's setting him up. I mean, he's making Scott defend, which is ultimately what you're going to want. Although saying that, I mean, he looks pretty confident going into this corner here. So it seems no one really expects to be overtaken into this one. And a bit of a lock-up from Scott Bugner there might just be what Andy Dorman needs.
I think Jamie Page might be a spoiler of this one. He's clearly got the pace. And he just seems to have timed this little flash of the lights there from Andy Dorman on Scott Bugner. But Jamie Page is kind of, it's almost like he patiently waited for the big sort out up front, and now he's picking them off one by one. Remember, race 1 winner, still don't know whether he's got a mic or whether he got fed up waiting for me to interview him earlier on or not, but we'll see. But he's just worked this really well, and he's closed in on this group now, and he's now Jamie Page challenging Andy Dorman, and he's not that far away. He was a little bit closer a couple of corners ago. But I think this has been well timed by Jamie Page, and you know, he could be going for, if he does this again in race 3, 3 really well executed drives and well paced drives as well. It's going to give him a good point haul.
It is, and when you look at the lap times on the timing, he's a couple of seconds faster. His previous lap was 2 seconds faster than Andy Dorman. So yeah, he's definitely on the run, and I'm sure with these two in front battling, he might just come out on top. He's looking for the outside now, and I reckon this might be enough just to let him squeeze through. And I don't reckon either of them... Oh. Okay, well, there we go. He's done it. It was easy for him.
It was, wasn't it? The pair were slowing each other up with the dicing, and I think, you know, Jamie was going quickly anyway. The battling helped him reel them in that much quicker, and then just contact between the two sees them disappear. So shame for Scott and Andy Dorman, and that means now that Jamie Page, yeah, very definitely putting himself in the frame to be top scorer over the 2 races. He's going to be right at the back at the moment on race 3, which is points scored from 1 and 2 added together. 4 minutes 19 on the clock. Thomas Potter now is 4.8 seconds clear as we watch Ollie Smith ahead of the recovering Andy Dorman, and the recovering again Lewis Stannard in 10th. Fair play to Lewis Stannard, hasn't given up. It's one of the things I like about Lewis Stannard. Some drivers would, youngsters particularly, would drop off the server, you know, and throw a tantrum. He doesn't do that. He carries on and sets about the job of getting the points and getting back up into the healthy points, which he's done here, Lewis Stannard, getting back up into 10th place. So well done to Lewis.
He's a bit of a boomerang, isn't he? He keeps coming back.
Yeah,
and when you look at the timing, he's quicker than pretty much everyone in front of him. So I wouldn't write him off. He's got well 3.5 minutes to make a couple more spaces up. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he does it unscathed this time. But yeah, he's pretty quick. I mean, he's posting lap times a second faster than everyone in front of him. So yeah, watch that space for him.
This is fascinating. Again, seeing the picture of the 3 races come together, which we have to do. Jamie Page could be on for a podium. Whether he'll catch Jack Smith remains to be seen. You can see Jack Smith in the distance. One would say that with 3 minutes to go, probably not going to catch Jack and get a double podium. But a P1 and a P4, again, you know, could be top scorer on the round, which is good. Catherine Potter in 5th, having had a really good, strong race. Popped the car where she needed to be. Rich Hayden in 6th, Scott Bugner in 7th on his recovery. Ollie Smith 8th. Lewis Stannard now up into 9th, ahead of Andy Dorman. And then Lee Pearcey showing actually in 9th on my screen, but 11th on the timing tower. But Lee Pearcey's made a bit of progress as well. Let's just refresh my timing screen and see where, yeah, Lee is actually in 11th. Ahead of Connor Potter up into 12th place. Just going to quick check, look away from the screen and Yeah, Connor Potter could be on for his best finish here. He's in 12th place, so hopefully I haven't put the curse of the commentator on Connor Potter in 12th as well.
Lewis Stannard now into the top 10, P9.
Yeah,
He's
done
had a
well,
bit of a lock up, but yeah, he's pretty quick. I don't know whether the gap in front of him now might be a bit too much. There's only 2 minutes left on the clock. And saying that, he's just been challenged. He keeps it straight this time. He's still going.
It is. Was that what we call a robust challenge? I mean, it was a dive down the inside, wasn't it? I think Andy probably realised that he was too far down the inside with the contact and backed off. I'm not saying that Lewis was lucky there. He was far from lucky, but he has held on to the place now. Lee Pearcey up into 10th position. And what I was about to say was that, you look at Andy Dorman and Lewis Stannard, that potentially in VRRC terms is potentially a lead battle at any other time, but they're dicing it for 9th and 10th place. Just goes to show how competitive this is all getting now as we look at Rich Hayden. He's closing in on Cat Potter. So is Rich going to get bragging rights here?
No, I'm not surprised. Have you seen the track limits he's using? I'm not surprised he's joining in. Look at him. But yeah, good little drive from Rich there. I mean, the car looks quite nice, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like it's got more grip than, to be fair, a lot of the other cars that we've seen. So, can you play about with setup, Richard?
They're limited. The coming into this one, based on feedback from the last couple of championships that have been run, there is less that you can change. Just trying to give everybody a little bit more of a standard feel to it. And it's bringing some of the newcomers in. The reason being, like, you got Jack Smith, who is a bona fide race engineer, knows exactly how to set them up and everything else. And not saying they're trying to peg Jack back. He was fully behind having a sort of, not a vanilla setting, but something a little bit more standard. So there are things that you can change, like the wings and stuff like that, but not as technical as they have been in the past. But yeah, he's flying now, and Catherine Potter under a bit of pressure here from Rich Hayden. Andy Dorman and Lee Pearcey have had a coming together a little bit further back. Thomas Potter now 6 seconds clear. We're going to get our podium interview with Thomas, but we're focused on this excellent battle for 6th place. And this is Rich Hayden sticking 2 fingers up to me for saying that Catherine Potter was on the podium when he was 9th, and he's gone through.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice little move, that, wasn't it? It was right round the outside, and he's got the job done. And when I say about the setup, perhaps maybe he's just looked after his tyres a little bit more, and maybe that's why he was a bit slower in the early stages, and now, that's coming to him as everyone else's tyres are going off a bit more, perhaps. But yeah, we're watching Thomas Potter there. He's currently 7 seconds clear, so that's quite a drive from Thomas Potter there. Has he still got fastest lap? I think he has.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So he's pretty convincing, isn't he? He's definitely, marked his name in the sand, I guess you'd say. So yeah, a nice little drive from Thomas Potter there.
He's done really well, hasn't he? And this is the last lap, and he knows it. So we have a little bit of a wiggle and a wave to the virtual pit crew as he comes down, and we'll take the checkered flag in race 2 here at Bahrain. Thomas Potter grabs the win. It's going to be Andy Carroll, and a quiet podium for Andy. And look at Jack Smith, reeled him in there. He's got him well within his sights. Jack Smith grabbing the fastest lap of the race on the final tour, 204.024, pretty much his demonstration lap that we saw on the run into this one. What a finish then from Jack Smith, but it's Thomas Potter that takes the win. Andy Carroll in 2nd, Jack Smith next up, Jamie Page, super drive into 4th place. They're 3 wide going across the line behind. Jamie Page 4th, Rich Hayden in 5th. Cat Potter does an equal best for her 6th place. I think better than the race 2 that we saw from her when she got driver of the round, if I'm honest. Scott Bugner 7th from Lewis Stannard in 8th. Great recovery from Lewis Stannard. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like Lewis fan club, but as I say, he's kept on and done really well there. Ollie Smith 9th. Lee Pearcey makes progress into 10th from Andy Dorman. Connor Potter in 12th. Best finish for Connor, I think, in this series, certainly. And then Alex Walker 13th from John Jones. Jack Dickerson next up from Paul Laramie. Scott Ferguson in 17th. And John Wilkie in 18th from Caden Cook in 19th position. And we'll have a word with our podium finishers in just a couple of moments. Welcome back, and our second podium of the evening. And we say welcome back too to Jack Smith. Well done on P3. Fastest lap, I think, on the very last tour there. I didn't think you were going to close in on Andy Carroll, but you did. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, not too bad. Quite a contrast to race one, which is lovely. So yeah, I think we had like slight contact in that one, but it was like very, very minor. Not a lot I could have done about it, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, we're really happy with the result. We had a really good pace. Found some bits and bobs throughout race two, which has helped me get that fastest lap right towards the end. I think it would have been a 3 as well if I didn't mess up the final corner. Which would have been mega. It would have been like one of the fastest laps, I think. So yeah, yeah. I was just like, I don't know where it's come from. The tires were off, but the fuel was low. So yeah, it was looking good. So yeah, but a clean race. Everyone had a nice clean race where I was at least. And yeah, it was a bit of a scramble, but we got through it. And yeah, really happy with the podium finish here.
So what was the story of race one then?
Just contact and then terminal suspension damage, unfortunately. So to DNF. Yeah,
Right,
which is a shame, but yeah.
Because the stupid thing was, I kind of clocked that you were. I thought I'd clocked that you were around, and then as the race went on, and you try and take stock of where everybody is, well, he's not there, which is really weird.
Yeah.
So we hadn't kind of clocked that. So apologies if we miscalled that. But cracking drive there, and yeah, come right the way through, and a lot of notables to take from that. I've got to say. Are you doing all the rounds? Because I thought, oh, Jack might be missing one. But are you doing all of these?
Yeah, should be making all of these ones. Yeah, I've tried my best to anyway. So yeah, I was thinking maybe not doing it this round because my arm is killing me, but I'm pushing through it. I've got like I don't know what I've done to my arm, but when I twist it, it's quite painful. So turning right at the minute is a bit of a struggle. Which on a clockwise circuit isn't fantastic, but yeah, it's fine. We're pushing through it, and we got a podium. So yeah, just got to keep at it.
What do you think you might have done to it, and how?
Karting, so it's
was it? Okay.
related.
Where was that? Where was that?
Did that in Colne. It was with my old uni mate, so we did like a karting social. It was a bit of a laugh. I'd not been karting in like months, so I was not physically ready for it, and I just battered my arm up. So yeah, yeah, it is what it is. We're here, so yeah, we're pushing on. It's
How
fine.
do you deal with that? Because I know, I mean, we've got all sorts of stuff. You can put cream on it and do exercise and
Yeah.
everything else. I had an interview with a drummer who used to race Formula Ford back in the day, and I was saying, how do you? And he goes karting in the States, and I said, does karting not? I said, it's much more physical, isn't it? Because you're in a lot more direct contact with the ground, a lot more bumping, and everything else. And I said, does that ever affect your drumming? But I mean, how do you get over it? Do you
Just drive.
suck it up, or?
Yeah, it hurts. It definitely still hurts, but yeah, no, it's not like, you know, it's not making me want to stop. So, yeah,
No.
it's not enough for me to like justify quitting and losing out on points, and so I'm just gonna push through it. And yeah, it's worked out well so far. It's not gotten any worse, so yeah, we're gonna keep at it. Only one more race to go, so yeah, we'll get on it.
Nice one. Well, thanks, Jack. And just to let everyone else know, Jack's driving with one hand behind his back technically today, so, and still made it on the podium. Well done, Jack. Lovely to catch up with you, and good luck for race 3.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
That's Jack Smith, and let's move on to Pete. Managed to grab a quick chat with Andy Carroll. He was closing in on you, Andy. I didn't think he would.
No, I didn't think you would, but I was getting a bit.
But also, I want to
Edgy
turn it around. I mean, you were within sight of Thomas Potter for a little while, and we weren't sure whether Thomas had made a mistake, but he ended up going down the road. But for a time there, it looked like you were all over the back of Thomas.
Yeah, I could have done with him spinning every lap. He kind of had a hard spin into that really slow left-hander, and yeah, I could have done with him doing that a bit more because yeah, he was just far too quick otherwise. So yeah, I thought I was just going to have a nice sort of cruise to P2, and then I saw Jack, and I thought, okay, I've got enough gap to Jack. But yeah, one more lap, I might have been in trouble.
Those points are all right, though, aren't they? I mean, you're 6th in the championship. Thomas,
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what you and Thomas did in race number 1, but you know, decent points, and you always seem to be there or thereabouts. That's my line about you in the commentary.
Yeah, well, I try. It's yeah, race 1 was made a silly mistake and put myself back in amongst the pack, and there was lots of bumping and stuff going on after that. So yeah, I was worried I wasn't going to scrape into the top 12, but just managed to get inside the top 12 by the end of the race. So that put me in a good position, obviously, for race 2.
So yeah, then it's just a question of trying to make the most of that. You know, you don't want to, when you're up in the first couple of rows, you just need to kind of try and get away cleanly and hope you can put enough of a gap to you know, make it count.
We seem to be saying a lot over the course of the 2 races we've had so far about drivers making good comebacks. You know, whether drivers have overdriven themselves or been taken off. There've been a lot of really good recoveries, and that's been key to good point scoring this evening.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure where I guess I'm going to be somewhere near the back now for the 3rd race. So yeah, I'm going to need to do that. I think have a good recovery drive and see see just how far up I can get it. But yeah, this is proving to be quite a tough track for, you know, everyone's got good pace. It's very hard to catch, you know, once people are gone. It's unless you're Jack Smith or Tom Potter. I think it's quite hard to catch people once they get away. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
I think you're going to be a fair way back. Just look at, I'm not sure if the timing screen is correct in terms of the grid we're going to see, but I think Jamie Page obviously top scorer, Thomas Potter 2nd, Rich Hayden 3rd, then Lee Pearcey and yourself. So
yeah,
it's going to be another tough one.
We've got to try and get on the back of Jack Smith and follow him around.
Yeah, he's P11, so he's about 2 or 3 places ahead of you, I think. So no, P10.
I would, yeah,
10.
maybe he's could be favourite for this one then.
Very possibly. What would you say? I mean, bear in mind we've seen a lot of contact again. We seem to be getting quite a lot of contact the last couple of rounds. Do you sit back? Do you? I mean, it looked to me like Jamie Page in the last race was just waiting for moments and being really patient with the incidents, with the traffic, and picking people off one by one, and that seemed to pay out for him because he scored the most points over the 2 races. Is that how you see race 3 going?
It depends where you are, because you know, if you've got cars around you and you're sort of a bit hesitant, then they're just going to try and come past you, and yeah, you can't be too patient because, as I say, yeah, everyone else around you probably won't be. So it's just you know, try not to outbrake yourself, try not to do anything silly. But if there's a gap, I think on this track you kind of got to try and force your way through.
Cool. Well, good luck for race 3, and well done on the podium. Cheers, Andy. Thanks, mate. Andy Carroll, P2, and our winner, first to speak to him for a couple of weeks, Thomas Potter. Well done, Thomas. Welcome back to the top step of the podium.
Thank you so much, and yeah, pretty happy with that drive.
It's tough out there this evening, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it turns out when you're not running an extra 26 litres of fuel, you've actually got a pretty fast car underneath you.
Did you miscalc?
Well, I looked on my server and content and server, and it said 25-minute race. So I put fuel in for 25, and obviously added about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So it didn't end up being a 25-minute race.
But anyway, decent winning that one. And how come was it Andy got so close to you in that sort of early middle part of the race?
Cut the curb on the inside of a really slow left-hand on entry, and it just spun my car sideways, and surprised I managed to hold it for a half one and keep first, but I reckon I could have probably had a even bigger gap, yeah.
That's pretty good. Do you need to get ready for the next race, or are you okay for a little bit more? We've got.
I'm okay for a little bit more.
That's good. We've got 1 minute 50 on the clock for the next one. I'll let you go at a minute to go. But what have you been up to since we last had a podium interview with you?
Driving, and driving.
For real or sim or both?
Well, 13th of October, it's going to be for real. Well, quickly before I do actually have to leave, thank you to all my partners in my car. Thanks to my friend watching Dylan, but huge thanks to Stephen Gillian, Kate Logistics, U-Fiber for sorting out this amazing day, as well as MDD, which will be at the 13th of October at Croft. If any of you are free to come down, please feel free to do so as well.
Nice one, well done, Thomas. That is pretty much time out. You go and get ready for the race. Good luck for race 3. Thomas Potter, winner of race 2.
Thank you.
So well done to Thomas. Lydia's back with us now, looking at the race coming up, race 3, with John Wilkie and Scott Ferguson on the front row of the grid. Drivers that we're going to need to watch in addition to those two. Caden Cook, 3rd on the grid, is going to be one to watch from here, as is Jack Dickerson and Paul Laramie, unusually very close to to the front. John Jones up there as well. Connor Potter. Apologies if someone else had a best result in that one as well, but I did note that Connor had, I think, his best one too. So well done to him. He is 6th, John Jones 7th, Alex Walker next up from Ollie Smith, and then Jack Smith in 11th. And you heard Andy Carroll saying that probably Jack's going to be the man that possibly to beat from there with the great performance that he did in the previous race. So 17 seconds to go. We should see the lighting sequence coming up very shortly on our final race. These evenings go far too quickly. So here comes the lighting sequence, and we're very nearly ready to go. One win apiece so far for Jamie Page and Thomas Potter this evening, who is going to get the honours in race 3. And it looks like a decent start. Well, this is the straight line bit. This is all okay as they head down into turn 1 for the first time. Nice shot of the Napa livery of Connor Potter on the outside. First proper look we've had at Connor, and it's that beautiful shot as they come down the straight and into turn 1. This is where they're all going to try and squeeze into this tight corner, and already a couple of spinners and little bits of contact here and there. Oh, such a shame. So Connor Potter's managed to survive that. John Jones has survived it as well. Thomas Potter is in the mix as well coming through. It's John Wilkie with a great lead over Paul Laramie. Connor Potter up into 3rd place from Scott Bugner. So it must have been Andy Carroll that was coming through, because it was an orange livery, wasn't it, that went down the order. Although Andy's in 9th, so if it was him having an issue, he's recovered.
Yeah, I mean, the start is kind of pretty much the same exact start we've seen every single time, isn't it? I think it's just the nature of that first corner that is just so tight. I mean, it's quite a wide track, isn't it? But when you've got a corner that's pretty much, I mean, it's almost backing onto yourself, isn't it? So, yeah, not good. And I think we've got Jamie Page in the back of John Jones there, I believe. So yeah, all getting a little bit close.
Yeah, that was because I said how patient Jamie was in race number 1. He's up into 8th in this one. I'm not saying that was impatient, but he was having a look down the inside. And to be fair, actually backed out of it as we ride on board with Connor Potter. Nice to have an on board with Connor Potter in 3rd place here, looking at Paul Laramie. And Connor's doing a super job in a potential podium position at the moment, as is Paul Laramie looking at John Wilkie. Lovely to see John leading a race as well. And, you know, I make no apology for saying this is what we love about these races, the fact that we get new drivers at the front as Paul Laramie goes for the lead. So he gets his nose in front. John Wilkie will try and hang on to it around the outside, but the door, I think, is open here. Could end up losing P2 as well. Can't quite put the Virtue car in the is that livery of car going to win the BTCC at the weekend? Remains to be seen, but I really feel sorry for John Wilkie there. Got turned round, was doing a grand job up front, but his turn on the podium, I think, is going to have to come on another day. So it's Laramie from Scott Bugner now up into P2, Thomas Potter in 3rd, and Connor Potter on the outside. So Flying C-Pot and the Flying Teapot doing battle. So at the moment, it's the Napa livery, so it's kind of Ash Sutton over the Tingram livery. The Tingram one having gone off. We definitely don't want to be seeing either of the cars go off at the weekend. And we'll tell you what, we'll leave the BTCC and come back to virtual reality and watch this side-by-side battle for the lead. And Scott Bugner going for the lead here, side-by-side with Paul Laramie. Scott in the black and orange, Paul Laramie in the red and green, defending well. And Scott Bugner trying to time his move here and giving room to the race leader at the moment, but he's got to be careful because Thomas Potter's closing up as well. Potter would love to get a double here. Scored reasonably well so far during the evening. Double win would be very, very handy for Thomas Potter, who is 5th in the standings coming into this event. And Thomas all over the back of Scott Bugner, who runs a little bit wide there. Connor Potter still doing a sterling job in 4th place in the Napa liveried car from Andy Dorman 5th. Jamie Page is up into 6th. Lee Piercy into 7th, having scored well in both the races so far. Jack Smith in a quiet 8th place. So there is Lee Piercy in blue. Jack Smith is the car behind him. And Jack, I think, biding his time, Lydia, and that could be the tactic here.
Yeah, I think, you know, looking after them tyres, the track temperature is quite hot. So, yeah, they probably don't want to take too much out of them in the early stages of the race. And they're probably just going to wait for people in front to either destroy their tyres or make a mistake. But I mean, it's been a nice start to the race, hasn't it? Thomas Potter looks quite strong behind Scott Bugner there, and it's just given Paul out front a little chance to have a bit of breathing space. He looked like he was under pressure quite a lot, saying that he's just run really wide, which is not going to have helped him, but he's still half a second clear. And I suppose he'll be hoping that Thomas Potter can charge to Scott, and as he is now up the inside for turn 1, and give him a little bit of room to have a breathe.
He will, yeah. So Thomas goes through. This could be good for and thought Bugner might give him a go in P2 and follow him around for a bit, but he's having none of that. He's gone back in front as we dip a little bit further back. Had a momentary look at Lee Pearcey and Jack Smith. Ollie Smith in behind them, and Jamie Page just up front at the moment, but it's Paul Laramie from Scott Bugner. Connor Potter still in 4th, running really well. Andy Dorman scoring well too in this one once again, as is Jamie Page. You could be top scorer on the evening, Jamie Page, running at the moment in 6th, the pink and black car towards the back of the group that we were looking at. But Paul Laramie doing a good job of defending at the moment from Scott Bugner. Scott taking a wide line here. He's going to go for the outside. Can he hold on to that outside line without letting Thomas Potter through on the inside? And Thomas is trying to get the momentum. And this is all because Scott Bugner was really gunning for the lead. The Swavesey Garage car does manage to consolidate P2. And now we've got Connor Potter having a look at 3rd place, having a go at Thomas Potter, with Andy Dorman and Jamie Page right in the mix as well. This is a thrilling top 6.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, Connor Potter read that really well, saw what was happening in front. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact there, but everyone's got through unscathed. But Paul Laramie out front is looking like he's struggling a little bit. Scott is definitely the quicker driver of the two, I believe, but can't quite make a way past. Maybe this might be it. Yeah, I think he's got that now. Hopefully he gives him room on the exit.
Yeah, he's... Oh, no.
Oh, well, no, he hasn't. Just as I said that.
Yeah, and now Thomas Potter weaving left, weaving to the right, and it's still Paul Laramie out front. I was going to say Scott Bugner has been really patient about trying to get through into the lead, and he still can't do it. Thomas Potter's got Connor Potter right with him as well. We just need Catherine to have 3 lots of Potters in the mix as well. More Potters than Stoke at the height of its industry, I think you probably could say. Scott Bugner now gets his nose in front momentarily. Thomas Potter does too, and they're 3 wide going down into turn 1. This is going to end in tears, I think. We flick away, and it's Paul Laramie. Is he still there? Thomas Potter's come through and got the lead from Scott Bugner in P2, and Paul Laramie bundled down into 3rd.
I can't believe they've made it all through without, you know, one of them spitting off. I mean, that was quite a move, wasn't it? 3 wide into the sharpest corner that we've got on the track. But it's not over, is it? I mean, Thomas Potter came through from P3, and he's now fighting, and I think that's one in the ball there. Oh, that's a shame.
That is a big shame for Paul Laramie. Was looking really good for a podium there. It leaves us with Jamie Page, who still doesn't have a mic, by the way. He messaged me after race 1 and apologised to Lewis if it was his fault as well. Well done, Jamie, for doing that. Real sporting message to send through. And he's up into P3. Andy Dorman next up. Connor Potter still in 5th. Lewis Stannard in 6th. So Lewis Stannard's coming into this as well, with Ollie Smith 7th from Andy Carroll. Catherine Potter in 9th from Alex Walker. Alex Walker having a good race in 10th at the moment and holding sway in the top 10 as the leaders go side by side again. Scott Bugner from Thomas Potter, but 4 cars dicing for the lead, Lydia.
It's a good race, isn't it? And you wouldn't be able to put money on anyone coming out on top, really. I mean, they all seem to be, you know, driving really well, but you know, no one's really getting away, are they? I mean, they're all fighting, and it's good racing. So yeah, we've still got 11 minutes, or nearly 12 minutes left actually. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't think you could put money on either of them or any of the top 5 really coming out on top. And you've got Lewis Stannard at the back of that group, P6. He's got a bit of a gap, but judging by his previous pace in the other 2 races, I'm sure he'll be there as well by the end.
Yeah, I was going to do a Paul O'Neill and say, watch Lewis Stannard. He is going to be the one to watch here in P6 because the others can sort themselves out. I can hear Paul saying that. I can't do his accent or squeal like he does. Thank goodness everybody says. But yeah, he could very well get this, and it will be deserved if he does. But Scott Bugner will deserve it if he wins as well. Stannard with the fastest lap. As we look at Andy Carroll and Ollie Smith dicing it out, back towards the leaders. Jamie Page very much in the mix as well in 3rd place. How are we doing? 11 minutes, halfway through the last race. This is going so quickly. Probably need to start messaging each other about driver of the round. There are quite a few candidates. I'm not going to name anymore in case they spin off, but quite a few that we need to think about here for who could be driver of the round. Thomas Potter busy chasing. We've got our 2 race winners here. Second and third, Thomas Potter and Jamie Page. Then it's Andy Dorman, Connor Potter 5th from Lewis Stannard. So Lewis closing in on Connor Potter, the black, white, red and grey car closing in on the Napa livery of Connor, who's done an absolute sterling job in this one. Andy Carroll down behind them as well, but Scott Bugner. Are we going to see 3 different winners again? 3 different winners last week with Rich Hayden, Andy Carroll and Lewis Stannard taking it. Oh, and Connor, what a shame for Connor Potter. Just coming together with Jamie Smith there and loses out. I think Ollie Smith at a moment as well as Andy Carroll closes down on Lewis Stannard. Scott Bugner still out front from Thomas Potter.
That was a shame. I mean, he kind of got caught up in someone else's spin, I believe. Yeah, I was just looking at the timing screen when that happened, but yeah, I believe that wasn't really his or any of his doing. So yeah, that is a shame as he was running really well, but yeah, I guess, you know, these things happen. And it's a bit of an unsighted corner as well, isn't it? You kind of turn into it. By the looks of things, you can't really see too much on the exit. So yeah, you can see how that's happened there.
It is Scott Bugner out front. Thomas Potter looking to try and make it a double. Now he's got his... Well, I was wondering whether Thomas's comment about putting too much fuel in was from the driver's excuse book that we keep threatening to publish one Christmas. What's your views on that, Lydia?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, when you looked at the screen, it did say 25 minutes, but you wouldn't think. I don't know. I mean, I guess, you know, a lighter car goes quicker, doesn't it? I mean, proof's in the pudding at the last race. You know, the fastest lap was made on the last lap, which, you know, is usually pretty unheard of, but just goes to show that despite the tyre going off, a lighter fuel load or a lighter car is obviously quicker. So yeah, could have had an impact. And, you know, in real life racing, you never want to carry more weight or more ballast than you need to. You're always trying to get to the minimum as much as you can. So yeah, certainly would make a difference. And it seems like he's got it sorted out now, so that's good.
Yeah, really running well, which is good to see, and putting Scott Bugner under pressure here. So we've got a nice battle between these two. Andy Dorman in P3. So amazing how we've got sort of repetition of drivers on the podium, which is not really what I expected when we got to race 3. Jamie Page back in 4th. Lewis Stannard in 5th. I was tipping Lewis for the win. Still got 8 minutes to try and close in, but you've got to say these top 2 getting away with Scott Bugner, fastest man on track at the moment. And remember, Scott Bugner, P2 in the championship coming into this round. It could well wind up with the championship lead, if that's not the potential curse of commentator mentioning him. It's only going to take a lunge, isn't it, from Thomas, which I know he won't want to do. He's so excited, bless him, about getting into the real race car. Really looking forward to seeing him make the transition into cars, and very keen to see what he can do next year. He put the comment on, I don't know if you were listening, but there was a comment, Lydia, we made a couple of rounds ago about one of the drivers coming into Ginetta Junior next year has got 4 cars. Actually, I understand he's got more than that, but that's another conversation. But
wow.
as an equaliser, I just need to say that I've been doing the stats on junior championships and number of retirements per capita. The Ginetta Championship is the cleanest of the 3 junior championships in this country statistically at the moment, which probably wouldn't have been a couple of years ago as Potter goes for the lead.
Yeah, he read that well, didn't he? I mean, he had a good run out of the final corner. He's made Bugner defend, and now he looks like he couldn't quite get the cut back, could he? But he's there or thereabouts, and he's now trying for the inside again. Can't quite make it happen. Although saying that he has made him defend again, so whether we get this, it's not going to be at this corner, but it might be at the next one. He's making him do exactly what he wants him to do, which is a really great racecraft from the 2 of them, actually, because Bugner's still staying in front. He's placing the car well. You know, Thomas Potter at the moment can't get by, can he? I mean, he can't find a way by. Even despite making him defend and going slower into the corner, he's still managing to hold on to it. So, yeah, a good race, a good little battle between these two. And Lewis Stannard's coming under pressure now from Jamie Page. So hasn't quite got the pace that he had before, I wouldn't say. He seems to be struggling there a little bit, but still a good recovery drive from him.
He's done well, hasn't he? Here, Jamie Page doesn't seem to have the pace that he had earlier on. Andy Carroll's been consistent here. Catherine Potter is in P7 as well. And we go back to this battle for the lead. Scott Bugner, I've only actually seen him race in the real world just the once in the MG. It was at Thruxton, and he was very quick in the MGs. And Thomas Potter having a look here, again trying to tease his way through on the inside. And I think he might be able to do it here unless Scott Bugner can hang on the outside. No, Thomas Potter's done it unless he runs a little bit wider on the exit. Thomas Potter finally worked his way through. That was a well-crafted move.
It was, but I don't think it's over yet, is it? Because Bugner's now on the outside. He's got a good run from that final corner. And will he be able to hang it around the outside, though? That's a question. Not quite, but he's going to have the inside. No, he doesn't. No, so Thomas Potter has really... he's almost slowed it down the apex there, didn't he? And prevented Bugner from going up the inside. I mean, I'm hoping they're not going to turn him from for the corner that that narrow, but I guess we'll find out. So Bugner going round the outside now. Will he be able to make that stick? My screen is frozen. I don't know if anyone else's has.
Mine's frozen as well. I'm also looking at the. There we go. We get back, and I'm just having a look down to see where Jack Smith was in the mix. But anyway, we'll come back to the battle for the lead. Thomas Potter is there. Fastest lap now with Lewis Stannard, who is right in the mix here and under massive pressure from Jamie Page. So these two, again, we wanted to see a battle between them earlier on. And we did until that contact. But also in the mix, we've got Andy Carroll. And, you know, Andy always there or thereabouts, as we say, and he's all over the back of them at the moment. Jamie Page, definitely a contender for driver of the round. I would say probably Connor Potter. He's down in 14th. Good drive in the early stages of this one. Didn't quite see what happened to him to force him out of this one, but Connor Potter a contender. Catherine Potter contender for driver of the round as well again. So yeah, between Jamie, Catherine, Connor, Lewis Stannard in terms of his fight back, and Thomas Potter, if he can get a double win, would be considered for driver of the round as well. So thoughts in the chat if you get time and want to be able to do that, as we look at Andy Dorman, who could be potentially driver of the day as well, because Andy Dorman scored well and he's up ahead of Jamie Page here. So yeah, we've got a plethora of drivers that we could very well consider for that accolade. But Thomas Potter now making his case for that by starting to pull away from Scott Bugner in P2. Scott's been consistent as well. This could do his championship no harm at all. A P2. I know every driver wants to win, but second place points, if you're getting that kind of point consistently, will add very much to a championship challenge.
It will. I mean, championships aren't one in one race, are they? I mean, consistency is key. You don't need to win every race to win a championship. You know, I mean, you see it in the touring cars. You know, the driver that comes out on top at the end of the year often isn't the one that's won the most races, but it's been the one that's been in the top 4 or 5 most of the time. And that's kind of what you need to do, really. Consistency is key, as they say. But yeah, a bit of a change for P2 now, and that is Jamie Page really wide. Wonder what happened there. Must have outbraked himself or missed the braking spot completely, it looked like. But yeah, he's dropped way down the order now. That's a shame.
It is a pity, isn't it? I wonder if he was busy looking at what was going on ahead, maybe, or perhaps the car's just not coming to him at this stage. So Andy Dorman still in P3 challenging for 2. Thomas Potter, 2.1. I mean, it just seems like, was it this time last year when, or the year before, or 18 months ago, whatever, when Thomas Potter was leading these reverse grid races off the front, but now he's working his way through, and that is what virtual reality racing club events can do for you, bringing you on. I know he's had some tuition, he's giving tuition to other drivers as well now, is Thomas, but that's what you can do if you're watching this and thinking about coming and having a go, as Andy Dorman was doing there, not doing himself any favours. He can't quite deal with Scott Bugner the way that Thomas Potter did. We've got 1:52 to close. Potter looking second, Potter looking settled, but we've still got this great battle going on for P2.
Yeah, it looked like Andy Dorman kind of tried to go for a move there and almost couldn't get the car stopped, could he? So, yeah, I don't think it's over between those two, but Scott Bugner's definitely not making it easy for him, as he should. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He's drawn a little bit of a gap there now, and there's obviously not too long in the race left, is there? So maybe Andy Dorman's just struggling a little bit with that car at the final stages of the race.
Could well be. It looks like things relative. 1:13 on the clock remaining in this one now, as they come down into the last corner, so they go on to the last lap of the race. I nearly went into Mark Werrell mode there, into what is the last lap, which is what Mark Werrell will usually say. As they go down the straight under the Gulf Air barrier, and it's Andy Dorman and Lewis Stannard. Now Lewis is going to go for a podium. We haven't heard from Lewis today. This is going to be a good reward for him. He pulls it off, manages to go past Andy Dorman. We'll see whether Andy gets the cutback. No, he doesn't. Lewis Stannard, hard work pays off, doesn't it? Up into P3 and on the last tour here, and it looks like he's going to try and hunt down Scott Bugner, but it's a good reward for Lewis Stannard, isn't it? This third place at the moment.
It is, yeah. Fingers crossed he stays there. But yeah, I think maybe P2 might be a bit of a stretch. I don't think that's quite going to happen. There's not enough time. But it's also bringing Andy Carroll into the mix as well. Again, maybe just a bit too far behind to make a challenge. But yeah, it was a good little move onto the last lap. So yeah, he's clearly got the car to do so on the final lap, which is good to see. But yeah, fingers crossed he stays there because he's not had the best of luck. So this result would probably be a welcome release for him tonight.
I think you're absolutely right. So they are on the last lap here of our third race of the evening on Bahrain, and it is Thomas Potter who will go across the line and take this win by the look of it. Scott Bugner still in P2. Lewis Stannard now up into third from Andy Dorman. Two Andys, isn't it? Dorman and Carroll, followed by Jamie Page. Catherine Potter, again, great result, Catherine. Really good event for her. You know, equalled her best in the last one with 6th place and has got a 7th here. And remember, the better you do, the further you go back in race 3 in terms of the grid. So this has been another really good development drive from Catherine Potter. Lee Pearcey in 8th, scoring well. Ollie Smith 9th. Alex Walker is in 10th place. Then Jack Dickerson and Connor Potter. John Jones, Caden Cook 14th from Rich Hayden. Looks like we lost Jack Smith off the server, which is a pity for the championship leader. Is he going to be leading when we've done the maths on this one? Because coming up to the line and ready to take the win is Thomas Potter. Well done, Thomas. 2 out of 3 for Thomas. Scott Bugner takes his first podium of the evening, with Lewis Stannard completing the podium, and a great evening, finish to the evening for Lewis Stannard in 3rd place. 4th position goes to Andy Dorman. Good consistent evening from him. Andy Carroll 5th from Jamie Page. Cat Potter is in 7th from 8th place. Jamie Page getting through. Cat Potter 8th from Lee Pearcey. Alex Walker, Jack Dickerson, Connor Potter in 12th. They're being followed by John Jones, Caden Cook, Rich Hayden 15th, Scott Ferguson, and John Wilkie, who did really well in the early stages before getting moved off. But John's still going, so well done, John, and well done to all our drivers. We will deliberate on driver of the round and be back with our podium interviews in a couple of minutes. So, third and final podium of the evening, and we finally get to right or wrong, which is that we haven't had a chat with Lewis Stannard so far this evening. Lewis, well played, and I've got to say, really admired your resilience through the 3 races this evening and to fight your way onto the podium. Because we were saying you had no luck at all, but you kept on going, and your reward is this excellent podium. So very well done on that last race.
Yeah, it's been a interesting night, hasn't it? From
Yeah.
the race 1 was a shame. I'm sure that would be handled tomorrow, so just gotta let it see what Rich says. Race 2, I don't even remember race 2. What did I do in race 2? I don't know. Somewhere in the mid pack.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. And then the final race, I think I got tagged at the start, collected someone at the start, went down to last, and then luckily the whole top 5 were just fighting the whole race, so I had the opportunity to fight my way back up, and yeah, with consistency and just trying to stay out of trouble, just got me the podium, which is obviously very nice.
Yeah, I made the comment that a lot of drivers, particularly youngsters as well, and I see this a lot. A lot of youngsters could get the ump, disappear off the server, and sulk. But you didn't do that. You kept on fighting. And it was going from 12th or 15th up into the top 10. So a really good example that you've set, I think, this evening on how to handle it and do it. And you've got the reward, or a reward out of it, which is getting third. Coming to that first race, by the way, I did mention in the commentary, I don't know if you heard it, Jamie Page hasn't got a mic, but he did send me a message saying he apologises to Lewis if it was his fault. So yeah, it's the equivalent of coming up to you and shaking hands after the race, which I know doesn't get you the position back. But as you say, judicials will be there, but he's got the right sentiment as well. So fair play to both of you. And great to see you on the podium, and you've still got the pace.
Yeah, I don't think pace is really the issue, to be honest. Every week, or last week and this week, I think we've shown really strong pace. It's literally just the start, because obviously the reverse grids are always carnage. It's the 50-50, isn't it? So you either get through or you get involved in it, and then you have to fight your way back up the whole race, which isn't ideal, but it is fun getting back through the pack, I must say. But yeah, when you look at it from a championship point of view, you don't really want to be doing it. So yeah, not great, but it's definitely good fun.
Well, it's certainly been good watching you. So really good performance. So well done, Lewis. Are you down at Brands this weekend? Because we got, obviously it's a BARC meeting. We got touring car finals, and it's your kind of localish one, isn't it? So will we get to see you this weekend? Or?
I will definitely be down there this weekend.
Okay, nice one. If we get a chance to say hello, it'd be nice to meet you and your family as well. So we'll try and catch up with you at some point. Are you there both days or just a Sunday?
I'm not sure. I think we are both days.
Okay, well, it'd be nice to catch up with you and say hello. So,
Yeah,
but well done. Well done again, mate. Yeah, super job. You've been a great ambassador for VRRC racing and young drivers in general. So good to see you on the podium. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Do it the weekend.
Nice one. Look forward to that. Lewis Stanhope in third place. Second position goes to Scott Bugner. Scott of the weekend, double podium last week, 3 for real, and up there again. And championship wise, that doesn't hurt at all, does it?
No, it doesn't hurt at all. It's I wasn't expecting it because I literally downloaded the track when I got home from work at like 5:15.
Yeah.
Andy gave me a setup. I just had no time with racing and stuff. I got back to work today, and I was like, right, I haven't done any practice, I haven't done anything, I need to get going. So yeah, Andy sent me a setup about 5:30, and then it was just kind of trying to do as many laps as I can to get used to it. But yeah, it was good fun.
And Silver's still good at the weekend. Obviously, you're out racing with. I saw you beat your dad, which was the key, wasn't it? I think.
I don't think that was hard because I think his bottom end went in about 4 laps into the first race. So that was him done and dusted for the weekend.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was okay. It was one of them horrible qualifying sessions that was like greasy, and we went too soft on the setup and just didn't quite go to plan. And then race 1 was still damp, but we went for. I didn't think it was going to dry out so quick, so I went for a bit of a safe setup, and the tyres went off towards the end. But I think I got a 7th, and in the last race started 8th and got a 4th, so it wasn't too bad.
It was a massive field, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, 39, I think that was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was good. It was good fun. Car got battered and bruised, and wing mirrors folded in and dented doors like you do. But yeah, it was good fun. It's good to know that we can still be in the top 5 in 39 cars. It's not too bad.
That's all right. Is that it for the year, real racing wise? Are you back out again?
It's it for championship wise. I think might be doing the Walter Hayes Trophy at Silverstone. I think the first weekend of November. It's just like an
Yeah.
all-comers race, bit of fun. It's only like 180 odd quid for an entry, so it's just kind of go in, do a 20-minute race, and just another bit of fun and see what happens. But yeah, championship-wise, that's it until next year. But we've got a really good calendar next year, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's good. I will look forward to seeing that. I think championship here wise, you're now a little bit closer to Jack at the top of the table. He's on 116 and you're on 106, so you've pulled sort of 4 or 5 points down on him. Thomas Potter up into third, about 4 points down on you. So it's coming together nicely, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't, if I'm being honest, again, I'm not going to mind about it, but I don't have the pace in rear-wheel drive. But just consistency is key at the minute, and getting points where I can. And, you know, Teapot was very, very quick tonight. Him and Lewis were on another level compared to me. So just getting the points where I can and doing what I can is the way to do it really at the minute until we sort of get to grips with the car.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nice one. Well done, Scott. Great to catch up with you. Well done on P2 and in race and championship. So we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Scott. All the best, mate. Lovely to chat to you. And our race winner interview. Don't have a time constraint on this one. But well done, Thomas. 2 out of 3. That's not too bad. 2 out of 3 and too much fuel in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I think without the fuel and I probably don't know about a podium, I reckon I would have been more up the grid, maybe even jumping Scott in the championship. But take a P3 in the championship and another P1 in the race.
Yeah, it would have been handy for you. I mean, say championship wise now up into third, so you've got 6 points over Jamie Page. You're 4 points behind Scott, and Jack's had a nightmare tonight, which is a shame for him. But championship-wise, it means things are quite keen as we look forward to next week back in the States. Sebring, have you virtually raced Sebring before?
In about 5, well actually, probably around like 6-7 laps, I think. So good enough. But yeah,
look
forward to it.
Yeah, there's nobody on the server yet, so that'd be good. Are you touring carring this weekend? Are you coming down as well?
When am I not at a touring car event?
Oh, I know. They throw those free tickets at you, mate, don't they?
Yeah, Will cooks every single week, so massive thanks to him. I mean, unfortunately, I'm also not at the Ginetta event, but good luck to George and everyone over at MDD for that one. I will be watching on YouTube while watching British touring cars, so bit of both, but good luck to them, and yeah, hopefully to meet you again at the touring cars, maybe even Rich Hayden as well.
I don't know if Rich is coming down or not to Silverstone,
I am.
but oh great, okay. So to Brand, sorry, we saw you at Silverstone. So that'll be good, and obviously looking forward to seeing Lewis as well. So Thomas, have you met Lewis yet for real? Or I know you've been virtually racing each other, but
yeah, I have actually. I can't remember round anymore. Pretty sure, yeah, Fruxton, I managed to meet him. Unfortunately, it wasn't racing, so I didn't get to watch him race, but he was there, and I managed to meet him and started such a lovely family. But yeah, really amazing. But well, hopefully I'll get to meet him again this weekend at Brands.
I always like Brands. It's kind of I don't know, more than it. Maybe because it's my home track. Maybe it's just where our commentary box is right by all of the trade stands behind the main grandstand, and there's always a real sort of carnival feel to it, away from the track as well as when you're watching the racing. And sometimes it's the excitement of the end of the year feel that you get as well, which is quite nice. I'm really looking forward to that. So safe travels to you and your family to come down. Look forward to seeing you at the weekend, and well done on the double win, Thomas.
Thank you. Could I say another thank you to everyone in my car, Stephen again for sorting out the day, as well as you, Fiber, MDD and Kate, obviously. But massive thanks to Next Space for getting me a birthday present of 2 cameras, dashboard cameras, which pretty sure I'm gonna have some in my Ginetta maybe for this test day, so there'll be some good onboards as that as well. Thank you to everyone for watching this, and well, also Scott Buggen, if you're watching, you are one of the best defenders I've ever raced against, so well done for that as well.
Yeah, it was a lovely battle between you two, so yeah, well done to you and Scott for that. It's nice and clean. And we really struggled with our driver of the round for this one. There were so many drivers that we were thinking. Well done, Thomas, and thanks for having a chat with us. Driver of the round could have gone anyway. 4 or 5 drivers that we thought about, but ultimately best results to date in race number 2, and in a very strong podium position for much of the early stages of that race. Connor Potter, well done, Connor. Many congratulations on being our driver of the round here at Bahrain. How are you?
Unbelievable. That is
I didn't even know I was driver of the day. I just got told in a message, "Was it your driver of the day?" I was like, "No, mate. Surely, really not." It is my best result through this championship and the previous. I don't think I've ever been above 15th. So I would have been better if it wasn't for the incident. But I felt really fast in that last race. I felt really good. The pace was good. I think it's the best for me. It's the best ever race I've ever had.
Well, that's good, and hopefully the first of many. And you know, so it's a difficult one. We do try and keep an eye on the drivers that are new to the club and new to this racing, and watching them progress and try and acknowledge that. And I think we've obviously managed to do it with yourself. And I apologise if we've missed anybody else's progress, you know, in other rounds. But so what's the next target now? Is I'm guessing just to carry on the progress.
I would love a podium. That would be absolutely amazing. As soon as we finish the conversation just now, I'm going to jump on. I'm going to see if I can do a lap of Sebring, see what I can do. I have done a lot of practice this week. Put a lot of stuff on social media and things like that. Just trying to big it up. I always say that I don't do very well. Normally kind of finish at the back of the pack, but this one I just felt so on it. And even after that incident and I got spun around and, you know, I got caught up in the traffic a bit, I still managed to take a place back, which was pretty proud of me to do that. And actually maintain as well, rather than just sort of lose it. I think it's the focus. For me, it's the focus of the race. But oh wow, what an absolute race! For me, that was just race 3 was crazy. I was amazed. I was going around and I was saying to myself, "How am I still on P4 on like the 5th lap?" It was fun watching Scott and Paul. They were just battling it out, lap after lap. Scott could not get past him. The drive though was there. It was on. It was going. Yeah.
Well, that's what it's about, you know, for us as well, watching new drivers coming in and learning and developing, and really heartening to see. So very well done, Connor. And we will, unless you've got any other thank yous or anything else to say, we're going to sign off.
I don't really have any sponsors or anything, but so as you say, I'm new into the championship, so I'm kind of just running a Napa livery, which I'm a big Napa fan. I'll be at Brands this weekend to see the showdown. So I'm sure I'll bump into you somewhere. I'll probably be with Tom and all that. So it'd be good to get catch up with you at Brands. But looking forward to this weekend. If you're to put your money on anyone, who do you think's going to have the championship this year then?
It's Tingram.
I think so.
Sorry, with your Napa livery. I think he's due another one, isn't he? He's due another one.
Another one, but the speed of that Hyundai is so fast. It is, But it was a great night tonight. I'm absolutely cheesed. I'm looking forward to next week. This is
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Connor Potter, well done, and congratulations on taking driver of the round here at Bahrain. And we'll see you at the weekend for real, and see you virtually online next week, which
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
So our podium interview's complete, probably a little bit longer than normal, but very well worth it. We're looking forward to Sebring. Becky will be back in the commentary co-seat with us next week. Quick word. I'm sorry I've probably rabbited a little bit too much at times this evening, but thank you so much for joining us again. Really appreciate it, and it's really great to be able to work with you again on this. And best of luck for the weekend. Any thoughts as you head to Brands?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure as always. But yes, really looking forward to Brands Hatch. It's my favourite track of the calendar. It's always a good weekend. So yeah, fingers crossed we have a good weekend, and I'm looking forward to continuing my progression in the Porsche Sprint Challenge. It's obviously my first year in the championship this year, and it's been a fantastic year, learning a very different car to what I've been used to previously. So looking forward to continuing the progression and hopefully finishing on a high.
We hope you do too. I'll see you on Friday. I think I'm probably down for testing and doing some media bits and bobs on Friday. So we'll see you then, and Saturday and Sunday. So Lydia, thanks again. Thanks also to Steve Allen for a cracking job with the direction and the overseeing the broadcast again, Steve. Absolute genius, mate. Well done. And that's it, really. So we'll be back, as we say, next Tuesday evening, and virtually racing at Sebring, which will bring us to the halfway point already of the BMW GT4 Sprint Series with Virtual Reality Racing Club. So from Lydia, Steve, and myself, be nice. We'll see you next week.
Between the two of them, the inside of Coates. Parker gets too heavily involved. And that's Whitehead and Coates.